So as we begin our session today, it's good to see faces, old and new, and all of you a big welcome to this platform. I'd like to start with the question that Sandhya put forward to me. How do I correlate on with a nakshatra to any planet? Or for that matter, if there is a planet placed somewhere, how do I correlate it together? So I can do it two ways. I'm taking up two charts. I'm taking up Steven Spielberg's chart and I'm taking up Amitabh Bachchan's chart. The things, see, while going on an analysis, there are 30 points. As far as nakshatras are concerned, there are 30 points you can analyze a nakshatra with. Okay, to begin with, I can say the deity. I can say the symbol. I can say the guna of the nakshatra. I can say the animal of the nakshatra, which is also a very important part of it because I understand the sexual behavior and the psychological behavior. I'm just giving you inputs. The deity will tell me the stories related to the deity, will tell me how events will work in a person's life. Okay, so how a person will uh, relate some things to. The symbol will have its own meanings. For example, if I'm taking the symbol of the Mula Nakshatra, it will, or rather, so there is a symbol of Mula Nakshatra which is called the Ankh, and it is the Ankh is something that the Mahat uses, okay, to control the elephant. So it creates a lot of pain, fear, and then it will give you the desired results. So I know that this is how the Mula Nakshatra will behave. Now, if I'm talking about the animal of any nakshatra, if you're going to take up the chart of say Amitabh Bachchan. In Amitabh Bachchan's chart, we see that his lagna is in Dhanishta. And Dhanishta, the animal is the female lion. So I know that his lagna, the female, whenever there is a Mars period going on or whenever a planet is transiting over this nakshatra, I know he would be more interested in working in a group because female lions work in a group. Okay. There's a very specific name which is called the pride of the lion. So now, if you see now, he has his Saturn moving over it. So he will be doing something with a number of people in collaboration to to work it out. So they are very salient features. These are like around 30 features that I have. That I teach also the planet there, the tree there, which I use for a remedial measure. There are then there is the guna, the gana, the temperament of the person. Then there is also the lord of that nakshatra, which will give me the timing. So all these things are a little too vast for the nakshatra to happen. Okay. But what I really need to see is what is the present state of the person. Okay. So if I am looking into the chart of a person, I need to just take up the present state of the person. So the present state of this person here is Venus. Venus is debilitated. It's the Yogkaraka which is debilitated. The Yogkaraka being debilitated, and it is very in Laghu Parasari is mentioned, and it's also mentioned in many classics. In fact, one of our very eminent astrologers, Sharma sir, always says that when you have a planet ruling good houses debilitated in a bad house, this is a classic example of Vipreet Raj Yog, a very strong Vipreet Raj Yog. Okay, so this is the entire period you see, period for Amitabh Bachchan where he has resurrected, when he has started touching great heights like never before. It's a classic case of, uh, you know, Vipreet Raju. And now where is this Venus? This Venus is placed in his Hasta, third pada. I have a method of finding it out from the Navamsh only. All of us can do that if we learn that. That's a very easy method. It's a second pada of Venus is placed in the second pada of D9. You can see that. Second pada, Hasta. That means he is going to make sure he's going to work doubly hard. Hasta is the nakshatra of Savitur, which tells you you have to go high, you have to move beyond competition. Okay, so then I use the deity. The symbol is the hand. You have to be very refined, you have to become very skillful, and you have to get up early. Savitur is the deity which shows us the the morning sun is also called Savitur. That's why we do the Savitur Gayatri. Om Bhurku as well, but Savitur Varev. So, but so this is again, as I repeat, this is how you come to understand how to work with the nakshatra. Okay, and then because there are so many parameters available, and for any beginner, like for because there are so many parameters available. Like somebody, Manjuji just wrote to me that I am a beginner. Okay. So for a beginner, they can get lost under the number of parameters that are available. For me, I can think I can use the symbol, I can use the guna, I can use the gana, I can use the tattva. See, there is vat, pith, kaph. So if I am doing medical astrology, somebody's come to me and asked me how my health is going to be. I see the current dasha. I say, okay, Swati Nakshatra dasha going on. So it means that the person has got a kapha issue. But what happens, you have to understand is you should not be just getting lost in the amount of data available. What you need to do is कि I will catch hold of three things that I want to work with, be it the deity, be it the symbol, be it the lord of that nakshatra. Any of these three things that I want to work with, I will continue working with it always. Once you pick up a certain number of points you want to work on, you will be able to go a far way. For example, when I was doing my research on deities, I would get up early. If some people can do it late in the night, some people can get up early. I would get up early and spend a hour with the working of the deities every day, and that is how I also understood my D9 deities or my D10 deities or my divisional chart deities. So somebody can be putting in a lot of effort in symbol. Somebody can be relying a lot on the animals. But whatever that you are choosing, please be very sure to work work very strongly with that. And once you understand how you need to work or with the symbol or anything, you will get a very good result. That is how I work. In fact, I take the nakshatras to the divisional level also. Got many students here who have been a part of my courses, and they will tell you that yes, I work with divisional charts and nakshatras, and they give very good results. But for that, you need to at least have your hold over two of the parameters at the very least to be able to work on. So have you understood, Sandhya ji, how you need to, pick it up, and how do you need to imply a nakshatra?
I'll work it out on some charts, and then maybe if you have time I can get back to you, like I can post to you or something, whether it's right or not. I'll
No, but
have
you
to
can
work
see
on
this
it.
video also. You can see this is
Yes,
how we teach even in our courses,
of
that you
course.
need to pick it up. We go a lot deep because we teach every nakshatra for 4 hours. So, so then we understand it's about understanding the nakshatra. It's not about mugging up the nakshatra. It's never
Exactly.
about mugging up the nakshatra.
Yeah, that's what
Because
I think. Like someone's sun is in Purva Falgun, someone's sun is in Mool Nakshatra, someone's is in some other nakshatra. Like,
yes,
how do you correlate them,
yes.
Oh,
So that's say. So I'll just tell you one thing. I'm just taking your example. If people write more questions, I will be able to answer your questions well. Say if I am to take up the chart of, supposing you give me your moon nakshatra. I cannot hear you. You're muted.
my Mool Nakshatra is Satvisha.
Okay. So your moon nakshatra is Satish. You are extremely punctual. See, the moment you were the first one to come in. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I was.
Right. You, Sadish. Now, incidentally, the example that I took of Amitabh Bachchan, he also has a strong Sadish because
Okay,
his Ketu is in Sadish, Pratham Charan. Okay. So
okay.
when people have a planet in Sadvihish, one of the very strong things is punctuality. And whenever you, and they like to be in control of everything. They like to be resourceful. This, all these things, if I list it out for you, I can list out 20 things for you. Okay. And they like to be in control of the situation around them. Okay. They have very good remedies. They're very good at curing people. Okay. They're very good at curing people. Okay. Now I can see the moon is in the eighth house from itself, its own house.
Hmm.
Okay. So relating to that house, whichever it falls in your chart, I know that you are in perennial chinta or worry about that house.
Eighth house, okay.
From Cancer, moon is sitting in the eighth from Cancer.
From Cancer, the moon is sitting in eighth house.
Yes.
Okay.
So that
Yeah,
means
that's true. Hmm.
whichever house that Cancer falls for you in the chart.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
So that means that is the point where your mind is always working for that.
Yes, that's true, Anuradha. Yeah, it's
Thank you
true.
so much. Because the moon is
Hmm.
sitting. So there are many factors that we have to inculcate together when we are doing a chart.
I get it. I get it. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So because eighth house is also not just about transformation, eighth house will also give you, it's also the house of unknown. And what do we fear? We fear the house of the unknown. That is what we fear the most. Okay.
Okay. Right.
Okay. So, ma'am, what are the basic parameters to start reading nakshatra? Manjuji, that's a nice question. The basic parameters that you need to understand the nakshatra is um, is to understand, according to me, that is what I feel, is the deity. Because the deity is the major part of what it will tell me how things will unfold in a person's life. Because if I have to tell somebody that this is what is going to happen in your life, and this is when it is going to happen, and then I also add that this is how it's going to happen. You're going to meet somebody like this, and then this is going to happen. That is what our olden time astrologers were able to do. And they were able to do because they understood the nakshatras well. So that is one parameter. Then there is a, yes, I will, Ariman, definitely I'll take your question. Hold on. So that is one parameter. And then the another parameter I stated was the animals that we use, as Chayaji asked, how do you use this in marriage matching? In marriage matching, nakshatra plays a very strong role because the Yonikuta, which is much related to the animals, which I do in detail when I do marriage matching. And in today's day and time, if there is no meeting in terms of compatibility, in terms of sexual compatibility, then relationships fizzle out. So this gives me an insight into the psychology and physiology of how a person would behave. And if I find that there is absolutely zero uniquity or 1 point, I would just say that there's a very low physical compatibility. And then in marriage matching, there's another point that I consider is Nadi Kuta, which has got to do with Vata Pitta Kapha. That again tells you a lot about the temperament. If the temperament is nearly the same, then how is it going to work out? It's a case of two lions in the same jungle. They're not going to work out. And so I use a lot of all these parameters. Nakshatra is definitely going to, the dasha that you were born in, and all those things. How's your moon placed with each other? Dinakuta is seen. Nakshatra plays a big role in marriage matching. And as I said, I carry the nakshatras to the divisional chart also. So when I'm doing D9, I definitely check the nakshatras of the D9. So Manjuji, these are the basic parameters you need to understand: the deity, the animal, and um, the animal, and the symbol. If you understand these, if you can correlate with these, only then will you be able to understand a lot of basics. Okay, so Ariman, unmute yourself and ask your question. I'll be happy to answer you.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, the only thing, the
Ah,
ma'am,
okay, I'll be.
the
Ha,
only,
please
the
continue.
only thing, the only thing which I want to ask, ma'am, that you explained it beautifully that the nakshatra symbol, the deity, and the animals plays a very important role. But
Right.
while judging a whole horoscope, like we have a lagna nakshatra also, we have a
Yes, I
moon
do that.
nakshatra
Yes,
also,
yes, yes,
and then
yes.
there is an atma karak planet which is very very important because we actually map it with the habits of the person. That is also nakshatras. And then suppose someone has a ketu mahadasha running, and it is also in some particular nakshatra. So how do you combine everything into one summation?
See, that's if I can say, that comes with practice. All right. So with the last 10 years being spent exclusively on nakshatra, it it comes now. It comes. I'm not being what should I say? I'm not being modest. I can only say it comes with practice. So initially, it might seem very huge for everybody. It might seem that there are so many parameters, but again, I repeat, because I'm looking at things from different angles, I take up different things then. But to begin with, four max points if you can pick up, and then you can start correlating stuff, it becomes very easy. When you start getting more and more deep into it, then you can start imbibing it. If somebody is asking me for money, will I get money? I see Sri Lagna, which is very important. And if I see Sri Lagna sitting in somebody's Shravan Nakshatra, I know that I can ask the person that, have you had a great, rise in life after your marriage? Because I know that Shravan Nakshatra will give me that rise in life after marriage. And if Sri Lagna is there, definitely I'll get that point. Or for that matter, if I'm looking about, people do ask us that, will, so let me share Amitabh Bachchan's chart with you again. So if I'm looking at his D10, okay, so in D10, everything is so beautiful. His 10th lord is there in the 10th, in the Lagna. It's Big Bali, it's Swagrahi, it's forming a very beautiful yoga and everything. But now if I can look into the Lagna, the Nakshatra, and I can see this, it will make things much more clearer for me. The Lagna is in Uttara Bhadra and Jupiter is in Uttara Bhadra. I know that there's just progression, and I know that when Jupiter period is around for him in 2023, now we can always see, you people would be able to see that this period is going to be very fruitful for him. He may fall ill also during this period because his Jupiter is that is in the sixth house, but he'll make pots and pots of money also during this period.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
So you should be able to correlate it. You will have to work through the different charts for it. But you should be able to correlate once you get a couple of things in your mind. You will be able to understand. In this D1, here it is in Punarvasu. It's, if you see, it's Vargottam. Jupiter is Vargottam in the D1 chart, which is telling me Punarvasu fourth pada. And here it's in Uttar Bhadra. It's in Punarvasu fourth pada. And here it's in Uttar Bhadra. So what do I make out of it? I make out of it that this one, Jupiter, is also very strong for him. It's the second and 11th lord. It's the planet of value placed in his house of work. But it's in Punarvasu Nakshatra, the nakshatra of Aditi, the nakshatra of Vat, the nakshatra where, the symbol is a quiver full of arrows, infallible arrows. He will always be able to shoot at the right direction. First level, he may not be able to make it, but he will always be able to attain his mark in the next move. And he will never be running short of work. But I also know that he may have a sense of insecurities even if he's on the top of the map. And that's because of Punarvasu Aditi. If I come to his D10 chart, I know because in Uttar Bhadra, he's ace in his field, he has mastered it, and has the capability of teaching so much to others around him. So this is how you have to assimilate the nakshatras, how to work. And how is it going to work? You will see that Jupiter, it's in its own nakshatra of Punarvasu in the D1 chart. So I know that this dasha is going to be good for him. Come September, he's going to do something good, something great. Okay. Okay. Anybody else? Thank you so much, Ariman. Anybody else? Any question? Charuji.
Okay, I would like to ask. Okay, after Charuji. All right.
Ma'am, good evening.
Good evening.
I joined the session only because of you. I have no idea about nakshatra. I am a very beginner in astrology, but it is only because of you I came. I thought something or the other I'll hear. So I cannot put up any question related to nakshatra to you.
No worries at all. Good that we have people who love us just for who we are. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. Sandhya ji, yes, your question.
Okay, so what I'm asking is, like I said, like my moon is in Sadvesha. Someone might be having a Saturn in Sadvesha. Someone might be having Sun in Sadvesha. How do you do that? Like how do we put the characteristic
Right.
of that Sadvesha?
That's a very beautiful question. We've made a video on this on planets in Moola. If any of you have watched that video, that's planets in Moola.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it definitely.
Okay. So when we talk about any planet in a specific nakshatra, let's not forget that planet also have their own characteristic. Okay, so sun is futuristic, sun is burning, sun is Agni Tattva, futuristic. Moon is Jala Tattva. It retains its memory. It is something that is always, living in the past. It's water. Water retains memory. Water is related to past. You can take it like with the tattvas. You can also take it with its inherent quality that moon is said to, whichever nakshatra that moon is sitting in, it means that these are the qualities that we have inherited from a past lifetime. Okay. And who is it that the child is most when it is born? It is 9 months before the child is born, it's with the mother. So you will definitely find these qualities in the mother also. Okay, आपका जो मून नक्षत्र, You will find that your mother could have been a strict person. Your mother could have been a very um, timely person. Your mother could have been a very resourceful person. A mother could have been a very vigilant person. Okay. But now if somebody has their sun here, okay, so then the person will be very dominating because the sun is a dominating power, and finding it in the Varuna Nakshatra, it is becoming doubly dominating. Such a person will take no prisoners. Such a person will be totally focused in getting work done my way or the highway. Because that is the sun, the king. I issue an order, you follow. Mars is the general. So it's like somebody's told the person that please make him follow that. Make her follow that. So when Mars is sitting in Sadbihish, he is so could be a possibility that the elder brother or the younger brother would stand on the person's head and say, do this, do that, do this ways. Because it's the one, the general, who will make things happen. The king simply issues an order. So when sun is positioned there, your father could give you a dictum and say, just do it. And he knows that it will be done. He's not going to come around check. The sun is also, Mars is also about activity. So such people will be highly active, highly vigilant. Because vigilance is something that Sadhish has. Now Mars is the general who's always vigilant. So there's a double vigilance here. So such people will be highly vigilant, highly working. Okay. Now, supposing somebody has their Jupiter here. So these people will be very wealthy, very resourceful, and yet very strict when coming to studies. They will want people to study properly. So how do I correlate is your question, right? So I know the properties of Jupiter. I know what Varun is, or for that matter, what Sadbihish as a nakshatra is giving out to me. Okay. Such people, if Jupiter or Venus is there, such people can be very good with cures. Why? Because Sadbihish is also, I call it the nakshatra of Dhanvantari also. And I know that people, if they have any of the planets here, especially Jupiter or Venus, which are supposed to be the Vedyas, these people will become good Vedyas. Okay. So this is how I correlate.
So you have to correlate the planets all
so that's not just the planets. You have to put the base or the planets on the base of the nakshatra. And then comes a bigger picture, which house is it positioned in? Yes. For example, in the chart of Amitabh Bachchan, okay, so in the chart of Amitabh Bachchan, you have Jupiter in Punarvasu. As I said, Punarvasu, it could give Punarvasu means again, once again. So during this period, he can have a relapse it's in the 6th house with a lot of the 2nd house, both talking about problems with medicine, problems with health. At the same time, 6 and 11 is also talking about work and wealth. So it works both ways for him, where I find that any one old disease of his can relapse. At the same time, he can be getting offers to do a remake of some other of his old movies, or he can be offered to do something bigger and better. I mean, see, KBC is coming on a different level again. But it's, even if I don't take that, I know that he can be doing something bigger and better again. And again and again, this is what the concept is all about. And he'll get a huge remuneration for it. So this is how I correlate the nakshatras. It has to be done at a very basic level to start with. You can't afford to just look at it and get very disheartened or feel it doesn't work. I have a classic case, a friend, um, student of mine sitting here who 3 years ago when she started working with nakshatras with me, the first 6 class, all I heard was cannot understand, cannot understand. Because it can be overwhelming. It can be overwhelming. I mean, many of you now would be finding it overwhelming. So imagine their life. But I know now for certain that after 2 years of rigorous practice and continuous practice, sometimes those people are able to point out the exact place where a planet could be placed in somebody's chart. That is coming out of practice and understanding, total understanding the nakshatras. Yes, yes.
मैम मैम जैसे हम D9 का चार्ट देखते हैं तो वो ऐसे नक्षत्रिक कुंडली ही बोली जाती है, तो D9 चार्ट देखने से ही चलता है क्या कि नक्षत्र अलग से पदा वो सब देखना पड़ता है?
uh, D9 say when you're looking into a D9 fully, right? Chayaji, so then what you do is I see basically I go in that depth. I go in that, okay? And I look into the D9 Kundali in depth in the sense कि मैं जाऊंगी और मैं यहाँ पर longitude और वो देखूं इसका, खाली पद से मैं नहीं रहूं. हाँ, तो मैं ये सारा चीज देखूं. लेकिन और मैं और भी चीज देखती हूँ, मैं अमसा रूलर्स देखती हूँ, मैं बहुत सारी चीजें देखती हूँ, लेकिन मैं कंफ्यूज नहीं करना चाह रही हूँ आप लोगों को. लेकिन आपको जरूरी है कि आप D9 देखें, तो आप उसको कम से कम आपका ये कौन से पद में गया है. जैसे अमिताभ बच्चन के चार्ट में 7th लॉर्ड जो है वो हमको मालूम है कि वो हस्ता के प्रथम चरण में, देख लीजिए. हाँ हाँ सॉरी, चित्रा के प्रथम चरण. ठीक है, 7th लॉर्ड चित्रा के प्रथम चरण. तो हम अब इसको कैसे इंटरप्रेट करेंगे कि भाई 7th लॉर्ड 8th हाउस में गया है, क्या ये अच्छी बात है कि नहीं है? वो 8th लॉर्ड के साथ ही है. लॉन्गिटिविटी ऑफ मैरिज तो दिखा रहा है, लेकिन मैरिज के अप्स एंड डाउन्स है. हाँ है. क्यों? क्योंकि एक तो ये राहु केतु एक्सिस में भी है और 7th लॉर्ड 8th हाउस में आ गया है. तो वो आपको दिखा रहा है कि मैरिटल इश्यूज हैं, बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग मैरिटल इश्यूज हैं. और चित्रा नक्षत्र में है तो वो व्यक्ति, यदि मैं बोलूं कि ये चित्रा नक्षत्र में है, तो मैं ये बोलूंगी कि वो व्यक्ति अपने लाइफ में अपने स्पाउस के साथ बना के तो रखेगा, लेकिन उसके लाइफ में अपने स्पाउस के प्रति इरिटेशन भी रहेगा. और वो अपने स्पाउस से हमेशा एक कदम आगे रहने की कोशिश करे. ठीक है. और यदि मैं यदि तो आपको आपका आंसर मिला कि नहीं मिला छाया जी?
यस मैम. या
और यदि मैं ये भी देखूं कि यदि वो वीनस है, खाली D9 में आप देखेंगे, खाली आप D1 का चार्ट देखेंगे मैरिज मैचिंग में तो नहीं चलता है, वो D9 को भी आपको देखना पड़ेगा. 7th लॉर्ड 7th हाउस में ही है और वो वीनस है. कारको भावनाशाय, मैरिज में बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग इश्यूज होंगे. यहाँ कारको भावनाशाय यूज होता है क्योंकि वहां पर जैसा मैंने अपने एक वीडियो में भी बताया है कि यदि 7th हाउस का कारक वीनस है, वो 7th हाउस में ही बैठा हुआ है और वो 7th हाउस उसी का हाउस है. तो वहां पर वो प्रॉब्लम इसके लिए देगा क्योंकि वो खुद प्रॉब्लम नहीं दे रहा है, लेकिन कोई एक मैलेफिक ट्रांजिट उसके ऊपर से हो, या उसको कोई एक मैलेफिक देख लिया. अब देखेंगे यहाँ पर कोई मैलेफिक उसको देख रहा है, नहीं देख रहा है, लेकिन यदि जब उसके ऊपर से कोई मैलेफिक ट्रांजिट होगा तो वहां पर उनको इश्यूज होंगे लाइफ में, मैरिड लाइफ. तो वो अच्छे से हिला के रख दे.
हाँ मैम, एक्वेरियस से अभी सैटर्न अभी ट्रांजिट का है,
अब तो वो लोग
तो वो
बूढ़े हो
7th
गए.
हाउस को देख रहा है ना.
नहीं नहीं, अब तो वो बूढ़े हो गए. अब तो वो
हाँ.
बूढ़े हो गए. जब उनके हेड एज थे तो उनके मैरिड लाइफ
एज
में.
वाइज. हाँ एज वाइज. हाँ.
ठीक है.
ओके।
और किसी का कोई क्वेश्चन?
और मैम ये जो मैच मेकिंग में है, क्योंकि मेरे बेटे की अभी शादी के लिए मैं देखती रहती हूँ, पर कभी जो नाड़ी एक आती है तो उसमें कुछ ऐसा है कि नक्षत्र कुछ डिफरेंट हो तो चलता है, ऐसा
वो
कुछ
हम लोग
रेमेडीज?
मैरिज मैचिंग में सिखाते ही हैं छाया जी, कि वो अलग अलग नाड़ी से अलग अलग किस तरह से क्या।
ओके ओके।
केतकी जी, but my question to you was how to understand when the yes, so one is Ugra and the other is a very soft nakshatra. So if so your question is, how do you understand or how do you assimilate facts, if I'm not wrong, when ascendant nakshatra and moon nakshatra are very different properties? That is, one is Ugra and the other is soft. So Revati is a Mridu nakshatra, whereas Bharani is a Ugra nakshatra. Okay. Now both of them incidentally are the female and the male elephant, respectively, Revati and Bharani. Now one is Ugra, the other is Revati is soft, and as I said, this is Ugra, Bharani. So how do I go about? If my mind, if my moon is in Revati, and if my lagna is in Bharani, how am I going to check it out? It means I don't mind doing, in my mind I can be a very calm person. In my mind I can be a very soft person. I can have very strong values. I can know how to teach. I can go international. I may be staying away from my home, but when it comes to doing work, I will be very just, and I can get very, very irritated, very agitated if people are not fair and square. And in my work, because Lagna is the point with, at the time when you came on the, when you were born, that is what the Lagna was in tenure. It is something that binds you to this world. So why are you here? What is the reason you're here? You're here to work. So what is the kind of how are you going to work? See, you're going to be very fair in your work. Okay, and you will behave in a just manner, and you would want to help everybody out. But if somebody is wrong, somebody is doing nasty stuff, in that case you're not going to leave people out. That is, you're unafraid. Then to take a, in the mind you're happy, you're calm, you're quiet, but while working you're not afraid of anything and taking a step out. Okay, Ketki ji? Any other question, anybody?
सो मैम रिलेटेड टू दिस ओनली, तो लग्न नक्षत्र और मूल नक्षत्र तो दोनों में कंबाइन करके वो फिर
वो तो
देखना
वो
पड़ता है?
हाँ, वो आपको देखना पड़ेगा कि वो हाउ द पर्सन इज, हाउ द
मतलब
पर्सन।
लॉर्ड ऑफ द नक्षत्र देखना है, वही ना?
नो, द लॉर्ड ऑफ द
नहीं।
I am not taking the Lord of the Nakshatra. The Lord of the Nakshatra, I take it for very different purposes. If I want to know how because the very important point is, how is the person going to behave? What is the characteristic of the person? That is what the Nakshatra is telling. And when is he going to behave like this? That the Lord of the Nakshatra will
ओके।
tell. Okay. Okay. So, any other person who has a question here? Manju ji, Manish ji. If you, any one of you have a question. Gitika, you had a question. So, Ruchira.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I wrote the pranam, ma'am. My simple question is, ma'am, uh, if we are having the same planets, all three nakshatras in our horoscope, then what does that signifies?
Yeah, so say supposing I have say Saturn nakshatras working for me in my horoscope. Just say. So it means that I have to work very hard. One thing, Saturn denotes hard work. Saturn is that planet, even when it is exalted, like that in Kamala Hassan's chart. It will not give any result until and unless the person is working their backsides off. And when it starts giving results, it will continue to give you results. Okay. So if somebody is having three Jupiter nakshatras working in their chart, the people are born lucky, but they are also highly ambitious, and at times can be very perturbed, can be very disturbed. On the other hand, Saturn nakshatras can also show a lot of softness. So that means that you have to work gently, you have to be hardworking, you have to be thorough, and you can find happiness in life. You can become very skilled over a period of time. That is what Saturn nakshatras are going to tell you. On the other hand, Jupiter nakshatras can, or let's put it like this, let's take up Mars nakshatras. Mars nakshatras of Mriksira, Chitra, and Dhanishta, they can give you the ability to become great administrators or great fighters. Especially in Dhanishta, it can give you ability to fight very well. And in Chitra, it can give you the ability to, if all the three are working, like I said, like in the case of, who was our Mr. Bond, very famous Bond from Scotland, if any one of you remember. He had all the Mars nakshatras operating for him, and he was very straightforward. At times, he would get into scuffles with people. He was on the go 24/7, because not Brosnan. I remember Piers Brosnan is not a Scotland, not from Scotland. I don't remember his name. He passed away 3-4 years ago. So you have Shah Rukh Khan has all the Rahu nakshatras working for him. He's got his Jupiter in Adra, and that's a retrograde Jupiter. So, and he's got his Lagna in Swati, and he's got another planet somewhere in um, Sadhish. He can be very controlling. He does things very out of the way. He is a chain smoker. He is very generous. Rahu Nakshatras can give you generosity. He moves with a huge speed, and he doesn't like to let people know about his actions, what he thinks, and how he does stuff. That's a very typical characteristic of Sean Connery. Yes. That's a very typical stuff about, Rahu. Rahu is elusive. He does it, and he does things all of a sudden. So Rahu does things all of a sudden. So all these things are very, and if you have that, that means that planet controls a lot of your life, because they are always in trikona to each other. So they can be in the dharma trikona, they can be in the artha trikona, or the uh, kam or moksha trikona. For Shah Rukh Khan, it's in the dharma trikona. So there that I found, it's he puts in a lot of effort. See, again, it relates to his children. It relates to his what should I say? Um, his parents. So if it relates to his children, he is extremely crazy about his children. All of us are, but you will see that he would go to any extent to protect them also. That's
Fifth
way of
house, ma'am, fifth house goes to the hobbies also. So he has taken that team also. That for, I think probably that is for his hobby or
Yeah, so
sort of.
yes, it could. Yeah. So he used to be a very great hockey player. Fifth house is sports. So he used to be a very good hockey player. So that is why he moved into the arena of sports. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Most welcome, Gitika. Anybody else who has a question here? Yes, Adam. Yes, please.
Ma'am, I want to ask that if there is a 4 planet in a particular nakshatra, and you will suggest deity or plant regarding that nakshatra,
No,
because for the family part.
See, remedial deity or plant, it will also depend on which house it is. and which nakshatra it is. Okay, plant, we use it for curing. We don't use plants for any other purpose, but we use it for curing purpose, for stability purpose. Deity, we use it for puja. Deity, whenever there are planets, say somebody has a lot of planets in Uttara Ashada or Uttara Falguni. I know that the person is I use it to understand the person first, and then the remedial measures that you're talking about is not given from, if it's in Uttara Falguni in the fifth house, why do I need remedies? That house is already very strong, that nakshatra, because it has 4 planets, it's already very strong. So I don't need remedies for that. I may be needing remedies for something else.
If you will tell that it is fifth house, maybe education purpose, maybe kids are suffering.
No.
For that, you have to do some remedy.
No. They already, even if it is for education purpose, the fifth house is talking about processing of intelligence. The person is already intelligent. The person already ati sarvatra varjate. You can't have an extremely intelligent person and then the other things will be skewed up. Because that lord, any planet sitting there will also, say, supposing Jupiter, it could be also sitting in the 5th house in Uttara Falguni Nakshatra in the sign of Virgo. Jupiter becomes the 8th and the 11th lord. So if you are saying that I want to wear a Jupiter stone to strengthen my learning, you're forgetting that it is also related to your 8th house, which is giving you long diseases.
Yes.
So you're not going to do any of these things without a very strong base of understanding the kundali on the whole. Remedial measures cannot be done. That is why I don't give remedial measures online, because they're very chart specific. And when a nakshatra in the house is already strong and you do remedial measures, you may be countering a lot of the good things that you're coming here.
But outcome of Jyotish, I think, is remedy mainly.
No, we think it's remedies. Look, I'll take this opportunity today to explain a thing to you. Lord Rama and Lord Krishna, they were the avatars of Lord Vishnu. If they had to get rid of people, they could have used remedies. They didn't, because karma is, there's only one way out of your karma, and that's through it. As astrologers, do we not have it within us? Then why do we also have our set of sufferings? Lord Brahma did something wrong. His head was chopped off. Lord Shiva did something wrong. He had to become Kapali for eons. Lord Vishnu, he laughed and he made fun of Narad Rishi. Narad Rishi rose to a platform where he cursed him and said, go down to earth and you will also cry for your wife. He had to live it out. So we have to work out our karmas. And if we do remedies, not this antardasha pratyantar, I'm not saying that you can't do remedies. There are certain remedies which have to be done and should be done to ease things out. But when you think they will eradicate it out, I haven't met such people. The 6, 8, 12 houses cannot be eradicated at all.
But still a person is hungry when you used to provide the food. And when a person used to come to astrologer and used to say that, no, I want my wife and she is refusing me, then what you will suggest? You will suggest something for satisfaction.
I will, yes. See, we have something called Vak Shuddhi. Adya. We have something called Vak Shuddhi. So suggestion also we have to give within the preview. What is not allowed, like we cannot give what is not there in the chart. If I see that the 7th house is badly damaged, if I see that the 6th house is very strong, I may want, my heart may cry out for that person to get his wife back. But I know for certain that his wife is not going to come back. So if anyone who goes ahead and says, okay, you do this and it will help you come out. To each his own. To each his own.
But sometime God used to help them.
So then in that
Sometime
case,
karma used to help.
So you pray. So you pray. That's all I can say. I have seen in my 20 years of practice that your karma is the only thing that works for you. As
Yeah,
I
yeah.
say.
Ma'am,
We
may
can
I?
always guide.
Thank
We
you,
can
ma'am.
always tell people that this is how you have to move. This is the direction where you have to move, and you can keep praying. You can do your Ishta Devta. So as Aryaman was asking me, Atmakarak, that is where Atmakarak comes in. Your Ishta Devta, yes, he has the ability to help you tide it over. That is why when Markandeya Rishi was praying and he asked he asked Yamraj to wait for a couple of minutes, and Yamraj in all his arrogance said, no, I will not wait. Markandeya Rishi then prayed to Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva appeared. So you can just keep praying to your Ishtadevta. That's it. Okay,
Thank
Aryan,
you.
your question. Most welcome.
Yeah, ma'am. One of the there are like 27 nakshatras. So I mean, let's suppose there is a sun nakshatra of Kritika, then Uttarashadha, and one more, I think, Uttarafaguni.
Yes.
Yeah. So these three nakshatra, they belong to sun.
Yeah.
But planet situated in Kritika and Uttarafaguni and Uttarashadha behave differently.
Yes, obviously,
Can
because
you?
why do that? Yes, very good question. They do that because the deity is different, the symbol is different, the animal is different. So your entire physiology, psychology, and the way your life will pan out will change. Kritika is Murugan, Agni.
Yes, ma'am.
Uttarashada is the Vishwa Devatas. This is one of the best nakshatras, but not good for marriage at all. Whereas
Yes,
Uttara Falguni is one of the best nakshatras for marriage.
absolutely,
So
ma'am.
depending on the deity of the nakshatra, the animal of the nakshatra, the animal of Uttara uh, Ashada is the lone
Elephant.
mongoose.
Acha, mongoose. Yeah, mongoose.
Mongoose.
Uh,
So
so, ma'am, just one more thing. I mean, I was confused. Like, all three nakshatra have their sun as a lord, and while looking at the nakshatra Tarabalam, like Jan, Sampat, Vipat, and so on so forth,
Shema.
uh, Shema. We actually, when somebody is born in Kritika, Uttara Faguni, Uttara Shada, they have Lord Sun. So the prediction by nakshatra Tarabal wise remains the same for all the three nakshatras.
See, Tarabalam is used for understanding the periods,
Okay, ma'am.
timing of events.
Okay, ma'am. Fine,
Okay.
ma'am.
But how it will pan out, again, I'll give you an example. Since you've asked me this question, I should give you an example. See, if somebody has a Janma Tara, Janma Nakshatra and Kritika.
Yeah.
So, Kritika, Kritika, Rohini, Brixira, Adra. Adra is the Kshema Tara.
Yes,
Okay?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Kshema means to protect.
Yes, ma'am.
So, how will the person protect? The Shakti of Adra is Yatna Shakti.
Okay.
That means the person will protect himself or herself by trying hard and trying to be good, and then by their own efforts do they save themselves. Okay, during which period? Again, during the time Rahu is in operation.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough.
uh sure, Manas Ranjanji, please stay back after the session, we will talk it out with you. Now, when we are talking about the um, Uttar Falguni, yeah, Uttar Falguni Nakshatra. So the Shema Nakshatra becomes Swati, where the Shakti of the Nakshatra, this is one major point that I missed out telling you people. Shakti of the Nakshatra is Pradvamsh Shakti. So the thing is, that the person would be strong enough to fight off the enemies and actually kill them or disperse them It's again a Vayu Nakshatra. Nobody can stand in front of Vayu. And so they will be able to, that is how they will be able to take control over it. And when it comes to Uttarashada, the Shema Nakshatra becomes your
Shatavisha.
Sadhish. So how am I going to protect myself? I'm going to protect myself by being diabolic at that time. I can be very conniving, I can be very controlling, and I can foresee how I need to, you know, move one over my enemies. You can see the different ways that a person is. In one, they're upfront. I will just protect myself. I'll try my best and I will be a good warrior and I'm capable of doing that. In the other, I will go out and I will try to loosen the spirit of my you know um my enemies, and I we can protect myself, my home, and that is the best period to do anything because I know I am safe and sound. When I move into the third, that is the Uttarashara, I will be so planning and plotting that nobody dare come and touch anything. This is the different ways that it's going to operate in your life.
Gratitude, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
You're most welcome. Anybody else? Any other question? So since we don't have any questions,
I have one question. Hello, I have one question.
yes, yes.
See, Lagna Nakshatra, your Surya Nakshatra, and your Moon Nakshatra. So the three, like moon plays, like moon is an important planet. Sun is an important. How do you take these three of them together in your daily routine? The Lagna
Uh,
Nakshatra,
See,
Sun
I see the
Nakshatra,
sun
Moon
in
Nakshatra.
also in a very different manner. I see sun in a very different manner also because in um this Puran in the Vishnu Puran there is a method of how to see sun and other planets also. Okay,
Okay.
so I see the sun in that method only about the Dwadashadityas, and that is how I follow the sun. And then I move into the nakshatra of the sun. That's a complete way of analyzing, and I follow it differently. So I'm being very honest with you guys. And but Lagna Nakshatra and Moon Nakshatra makes all the difference in the world. And yes, as I explained it time and again in this session, I do take both of them into account. It's very important to do that.
Okay, Lagna Nakshatra and Moon Nakshatra.
Manjuji, I would love to do that. You can start with the book on by Prash Trivedi. You can also read the book by Komila Sat. Okay. So with this, I think I've answered many of your questions. Just a feedback on name of the book, the names of the book. If you just write Nakshatras by Prash Trivedi, Nakshatras by Komila Satan, you will get the book on. When you have multiple, thank you so much, Ariman. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
such a wonderful
Astro
review.
Anuradha.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay then. Good
Any
night.
one of you, anything to say for the session today?
It was amazing. I would definitely want to say.
Thank you.
I really want too much of the nakshatras. I think I might join the class. Let's see.
Ma'am,
If the
it's
time
so good.
permits.
It's so good that we can have eternity to discuss the nakshatras and
Thank
your videos. And since Saptarishi Astrology days, we have seen you, and
Thank you.
you explain in such a lucid manner. Na? The any novice will also understand the nuances of that. And your series with VP Goel sir, I mean, amazing series, and
Thank
they
you.
give us so much of insights that I have learned majority of things just looking at your videos and around insights that how do you manage it. So and in fact I could gauge the importance of nakshatras only because of you started mentioning the nakshatras are also important. So I mean, ma'am, gratitude to you, ma'am. You are an awesome astrologer, and nakshatra is your forte, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Aryan. Arman, good. Now, it's been pleasure hosting this session with all of you, and I hope that the nakshatras keep blessing all of us. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Very
Thank you.
nice.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Chandra.
ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.